What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, good people? We are live. We're live today. What's going on? Hope y'all are doing well today. Enjoying the holiday. Staying safe. What is good? I am OMA, one who may ascend. I appreciate y'all for joining us today on this holiday evening. Hope y'all are doing great. What's up? We have Kirsten in the house. Shout out to Kirsten. We're streaming on a couple different platforms right now: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We usually come in on Mondays, 3:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are here. So tell me about y'all's weekend. What did y'all do this weekend? Kirsten, anybody else joining, watching the playback? You have plans for tonight? Anybody going out, turning up on Halloween Monday? I'm hard to hear. You can't hear me? I don't know how to change that on here. But you can hear me though. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, it's off the phone. I've heard that before too. If you can join us on Instagram, maybe it's the platform too. I feel like maybe it's the platform. We have the same handle on Instagram, one who may send, just with the underscore at the end. I'm not saying anything important. Not yet, honestly, at least. But yeah, I just wanted to tap in. More curious to know what you got going on. All good, all good. Hey, well, we're here though. We are here. You know, so making the most of what we got until we got more and to do the same. You know. But yeah, I'm just chilling right now. Just keep working. What do you got going on? Kirsten, you just chilling? Chilling right now? Usually these lives are more lively, no pun intended. But yeah, I wonder if the holiday has something to do with it. Makes me wonder, you know? I think we had a good turnout on Friday. Friday we host a live just on the Facebook private group, and we just freestyle, and I think we even went later than usual on Friday. Maybe that had something to do with the turnout. I don't know if people were like up and at it at the time that we went live on Friday, and we had a good time. We had a good time, you know. So don't really know what to expect today. Uh, but yeah, as always, you got to make the best of every situation that you find yourself in. Stay creative, stay inspired, you know. In what capacity? What do you mean by that? Collab with fans. If it's right, I'd like to say I'm a sucker for a good song. If it makes sense, but it has to make sense, for the both of us, you know. Uh, Two things that I really incorporate and look at like heavy, and not just, branding and the business and everything like that, but just like life really in general. I'm starting to realize two things that I base a lot of my decisions on are integrity, a brand identity, who I am, and sustainability, and as long as something fulfills those two prerequisites, those requirements for me, integrity and sustainability, then it's more likely than not I'm going to do it. I guess if there was like a option three uh, prerequisite, uh, I guess you could say like value or cost. So if I'm like weighing two decisions and I'm going back and forth and I can only do like one of the two things, which one is going to cost less or which one is going to have the greater ROI. I've been having this discussion a lot recently with people I'm close with. It's like a risk versus reward ratio. What's the risk? And it doesn't have to be like something where like there are consequences for your actions, but it could be something like, things cost time, money, effort, and if those things are better placed, better suited, in some other capacity where I could serve higher, then it's more than likely that I'm going to do, whatever makes the most sense at the time, you know. So I don't know if that answers your question, but just in a general sense, that's what I have to say about that. Um, but yeah, if you're interested, you could go ahead and shoot me an email at oma@onewhomayascend.com, and we could continue that discussion in further detail for all collaboration inquiries. You know, yeah, yeah, yeah. Good question, though. Thanks for the question, Kirsten. And for anybody else watching the playback, um, and you can just hit me up whenever about whatever, you know. Same email, oma@onewhomayascend.com. You know, just be patient with me. Appreciate y'all's patience, getting organized and everything. You know, what's up? What's up? We got Adrian in the house. Shout out to Adrian. Poet Rolling Street. I was just thinking about you. Yeah, I think it was literally like yesterday, like last night or something. What's up? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, everybody has to start somewhere. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Yeah, because I was thinking about Adrian because I got a request through my Audible. I think it was for like some deal. I've been hitting a lot of audiobooks recently. What's up?
Hold up, hold up. I'm gonna switch things over.
You got Ram in the
What's up, man?
house? How's it going?
Yo, hey, man, I'm good. I've had a long day at work, and but man, I've been trying to take in the small gifts of that life gives us, man. I'm trying not to stress out the big stuff, man.
Right.
you know, man, I'm learning because it's something I'm not used to doing. I mean, I'm used to thinking about the big picture and thinking about, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, blah blah. But I'm like, nah, man. Like, you know what, man? You're alive. You got a good job. You're working hard. Man. Like, take a breather. Look, it's like for me, it's a God thing. Like, man, like, you know, just be grateful. You're on God's earth. You're breathing. But like, even if you don't believe in a God, man, it's beautiful. I mean, sometimes, man, you go through some dark patches, but man, you know, it's hey, man, at least you get like, okay, man, like, I don't know, you make some mistakes today, you get the chance to do better tomorrow. That's what you know,
Right.
that's my mentality right now. But
Everybody believes in something, you know, it's gratitude. It's the principle of gratitude, really. You know, you got to start off your day like that with gratitude exercises, you know. So definitely. Hey, shout out to Aaron. What's up, Aaron? Happy Halloween.
what's up, man?
Whoop,
Happy
whoop.
Halloween.
Shout out to Red Satchum. Is that, I'm pronouncing your name right? But yeah, Aaron, I was thinking about you yesterday because I got a promotion in my Audibles, and I've been hitting like audiobooks like really heavy recently. And I thought about Crystal and the live, you know, that we host, that we do and everything, and how both of y'all are
Yeah,
writers, you know. And
yeah, man.
man, it's a lot of titles. Like I guess Audible hit me with like a deal for books. They look especially, uh, I guess, horror inspired, like thrillers and scary books and everything. You know, and I was like, I wonder what Ram is reading these days. You know, I wonder how his book is coming and everything. Where are you? You
Well,
are you in the kitchen or a
yeah,
doctor's office? It's hard to tell.
no. I'm in. I'm in the restroom, man.
Oh,
But
okay,
it's
my
all good.
bad. Okay, well, yeah.
No, no. It's why you see me in here. That's why. 'Cause
Oh,
I
okay,
just got home a while ago. So,
for
but
sure.
no, man. I've been reading. I've been sitting there like thinking and just like reading a lot of like historical fiction and just like writing a bunch of like real life stories, man. You know, I've been thinking like, I think for a long time, and I'll be quick, but I've been so focused on like grammar and like how does it sound in the reader, how does it sound, but like I forget sometimes, man. They're like, man, just put the idea on paper, right? Just write the way you want to write, and just let it flow, right? And
Yeah.
whatever. So, I'm still working on the book. Uh, I'm still working on it, but I need to get with my guy. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Happy Halloween. But I'm gonna get with my guy and see how the cover's doing. I need to ask him how he's doing on that because I haven't talked to him about that. But no, man, I think like just personally, I just been reading a lot of like historical fiction and just like stories uh, that tell that ask the big questions. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
Like the book I'm reading right now. You probably never read him. I don't know if you had Harry Turtledove. He writes a lot of historical fiction, right? So he takes a time period and he moves some things around and he like crafts a story out of it, right?
Uh huh.
So, so right now, like I'm reading this book of his called Guns of the South, and it's about basically it's where like the Confederacy wins the Civil War, right? Like they get like this brand new. I'm paraphrasing it. It's a long book, but it's like where the Confederacy wins the Civil War, right? Because they get given this new gun or something, right? But one of the questions they raise in the book is about slavery, right? because it's Civil War, right? They're going to talk about slavery, right? And the whole book, like they talk about like, is it right for like I think Robert E. Lee or what? Like everybody's arguing like, oh, do we have the right to own people? Do we have the right? And so the reason I bring that up is because like I think what I've appreciated about the book is that it asks the hard questions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, because like here's the thing. It's like how here's the reality of it, right? It's like how can we, right? How can somebody say, right, that their people, right, are gifted by God to be given their independence and their freedom, yet deny that freedom and independence to another group of people based on because they feel they're inferior, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can kind of take it outside and just, oh, well, American slavery kind of deal, right? It's like, and it's like, here's the thing, it's right, it's like, okay, like, and this is kind of what I was thinking about with the book. I still need to put his ideas on the paper, but it's like, okay, right? It's like, okay, here's the thing. We as humans, right? We're subjective people. Everybody's got their own opinion about something, right? So it's like, okay, who are we to say that we know the judgment of the Creator? Now, I know, like you said, you gotta don't believe in God, but it's like I feel like that's a question that I mean, you kind of get where I'm coming at, right? It's like, again, right? It's like, do we have the right to judge others, right? And it's like, how far do we take that, right? How far do we, and I don't know, that's kind of the question I present to you. That's what I'm saying, right?
Okay, so it's not a rhetorical question. You're actually asking me. So
Yeah, I'm actually asking you,
that's a good question. So to the point to where everybody is in their life, they have to believe that
right?
they've lived up to this point, doing everything in in their realm of possibilities, their capabilities, in line
Mm-hmm.
with their beliefs. And once you have evidence of something that contradicts that, that belief, that's when you change your beliefs. And at that point, the cycle repeats itself. So whether somebody believes in something or not, they are firm in that conviction until they're presented with contradictory evidence. So naturally, everybody is going to believe that they're in line, with whatever they believe in, you know. But
Right.
what I would say where that it can't be the case is because obviously you have some people with more desirable outcomes than others. You have some people with um I guess tangible is a word. That's not the word I'm looking for. Um, uh, like effects. I think the word I'm looking for starts with the R. It's not resources. It's not return on investment. It's results. Results. That's the word I'm looking for. Results. Right. So
Right.
you have an anticipated desired result. Regardless of what you believe. And it's up to each of us as individuals, groups, and societies to say, are our beliefs in line with the result that we so desire? And at that point, that's what inspires and influences change to be brought. And if that's not the case, we have to ask ourselves why. and then draw the line of conclusion and say, like, what can we do to get us the desired result? What does the desired result look like? You know, so I don't know if that answers your question. Um,
No, I mean, because like to me, like man, like, I feel like ever since like our ancestors, right, were like making weapons out of sticks and like prehistoric times, like gods, right? We everybody's been making their own gods since the beginning of time. I mean, you go back to the Aztecs until like the prehistoric peoples, man, and some of them have so many gods you can fit them all in like 3 volumes of books, right?
right.
So I think it's like it's this idea that we, you know, you know, to some extent, people often say when we talk about Christianity, right? It's like, well, if you lean on a so-called higher power, right, doesn't that show weakness on your part? And like, right, like you can't handle, the I guess you could say the obstacles life gives you without leaning on some supposed higher power that you believe exists, right? And that's like a very like I wasn't judgmental, but like it's a very interesting way of looking at things. And so, but it's like I feel like to each their own. You know what I'm saying?
So on the flip side,
Like, okay.
if I could play devil's advocate to that, it doesn't have to be God necessarily, but it could be anything, right? Like, why do we
Right.
why do we have to subscribe to the idea that anything that we are not able to see exists? And if we're going to play that game, we could play that with a lot of different things, right? We could say, oh, emotion doesn't exist, energy doesn't exist, to an extent. Before we were able to view atoms and molecules, we could say that these properties don't exist. We could blame everything on like witchcraft and say like anything that I'm not able to see, doesn't exist. But
Right.
these are just matters of
So
perception, right? Like phantom limbs, for example, you know. But these are things that we have like documented, recorded evidence, and it's reoccurring, you know. So it's like, where do you stop? Where do you draw the line with that? You know.
yeah. Okay. So my thoughts on that are like, um, don't know. I mean, I think that's a question. I think as a species, we're never going to be able to answer. I mean, my thoughts as a Christian, right, is that like, okay, right, whether or not somebody believes in the power.
What's up?
How's it going?
You got Crystal in the house. Shout out
What's
to Crystal. Shout out to Sharon.
But no, man, I just thinking that everyone makes their own choices, and that's how things should be,
Right. Right.
But yeah,
As long as those choices don't
Yes.
interfere with the decisions of another, to an extent, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
there's a such thing as influence, and I feel like influence is important, right? But what are we influencing to? To what extent? What for? You know. Um, I'm gonna read some comments here. I want to see what Kirsten had to say about this. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Sharon.
yeah,
Uh, was it? I mean, I guess there are two ways of looking at this. Like, I wasn't expecting to have such a deep philosophical discussion on Halloween here, but at the same time, like with the Ascenders community, like, what else can we expect? So I'm fucking with this. Dope. Right, right, right. So Kirsten said, if we have the right to judge others, doesn't that mean we are obligated to judge ourselves first? I like that. I like that. Uh, I look at it like this: if I'm willing to judge another without opinion, then I better be expected to be judged by those around me, no matter the offense. Um, isn't life just an illusion of our perception, right? Perception is reality, right? Um, and here's the thing too, it's like we have to judge, our survival is dependent on our ability to judge, right? So when we hear all of that cover bullshit, that's just the same. That has no real life practical application. you know
Right.
Now you don't want to take it too far out and misjudge because you're judging or being prejudiced, because that could lead to wrong, inaccurate conclusions, as well at the same time,
Yep.
but our survival is based on our ability to judge, and not just those around us, but ourselves too. Say if, we think highly of ourselves, and misjudge ourselves in whatever ability, we'll never have the ability to humble ourselves and improve based on, our, uh, again, going to the results, the desired anticipated results that we want. If we have a goal for ourselves and we misjudge, the amount of effort and energy that it's going to take to get to that point, then that's a poor judgment call. So we have to do better on ourselves and those around us. So
Yeah, that is true.
yeah. What you got going on, Crystal? You outside and everything?
Yeah, I'm outside. I just got off work, so
Yeah.
uh, it's so pretty out here. Even though it's supposed to be like cold as hell right now, but it feels really good out here.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's like low 80s, high 70s where everything gets cold again.
So stress.
You know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, now the truck's passed.
Ram, you still there?
I'm still here, man.
Okay, okay. It's kind of quiet over there. It's like, you all right? We
Yeah.
didn't lose you in the restroom, huh?
No, no. I'm in my room now.
All right.
But no, I was there. No, I was gonna say, y'all, like, man, like, I feel that people are like mixtures of darkness and light. Like I don't, I personally don't believe it that someone has a pure soul, right?
Yeah.
Because like every time you get jealous of somebody, or you get angry, or you get soul, and that's kind of my own philosophy, right? But I kind of borrow it from Christian beliefs, right? It's kind of like Jesus was the only one who any could consider pure. The rest of us, we're kind of always in the middle. Not to say we're terrible people, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, um, that's just who we are, and that's that's why I try. I do my best not to judge people, because that's my new philosophy.
If I may, can I get controversial here? Can I ask some questions? Can I poke around and
Of
probe?
course, you can always be controversial. You know how.
I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to feel uncomfortable or nothing like that. But in regards to your beliefs and your statement and everything, that because I was going to bring this up in regard to your assertion um, of purity and combinations of light and dark. So, in your perception, what is it that made Jesus pure?
Well, I believe, okay, like he died on the cross to save all of us from original sin. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real with you, dude. Just anything else, which in my mind thinks like, hey, like, okay, you can make mistakes in your past, but you can always come back to the light, come back to God, right? And like he'll accept you with open arms. But if I could paraphrase it, that's how I paraphrase it.
Well, let me add something to that real quick. You asked about what keeps us pure. I think what made him pure is the fact that he was conceived without, you know. If you really think about it, you know, he was conceived without sex.
So I want to isolate and handle one thing at a time. Uh, I want to come back to Crystal's point. But what Ram said, having died, for original sin, what does that mean? What does that entail? Like so far in regards to the rest of us, who are unpure, and where's the accountability, in our actions and in our purity versus impurity ratio. I want to know what that looks like.
Hey, man, look at you challenging me, man.
I'm just asking questions, say like I said, and I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable, but going back to what we were talking about, like judging, we have to judge and assess our own perspectives to make sure, this all for me, this goes back to my purpose. You say, I guess like barriers in regards to anything, whether it's like physically, financially, mentally, socially. I don't want us to just believe things that we've been taught just because, it's familiar. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. So with that, I don't know, man. I just feel like God has a place for everybody, and I believe it's everybody's choice to, ride with him or not. I mean, that's just if I could simplify it. That's how I simplify it, man. And it's God is all knowing and all loving, really.
So,
he provides miracles for his children.
I guess I'm going to get a little bit more blunt here. But
go ahead. It's all good.
Did God create the devil?
No, technically, did God create the devil? That's an interesting question.
I mean, if you're the creator of all things, do you not create destruction?
That's an interesting point. I've never really given that much thought.
The first part of Genesis where it talks about him creating the heavens and earth and separating the earth from the sky and blah blah blah. Good and evil.
Right.
So in the beginning there was darkness, right? And then
it was void and darkness.
Right. So it's kind of like a chicken versus the egg situation, right? It's like which one gives birth first? Like, is there something or is there nothing? And whichever one comes first, you would say that's the predecessor, right? It's like, I mean, I don't think any of us are gonna suggest that the devil made God. You know, that that would be interesting, right? But when I think of the void and nothingness and darkness, aren't these things that are synonymous with like destruction and desolation and like nothing? So like, is something born out of nothing, or is nothing born out of something? And back to Ram's point, it's like, you can't have one thing without the other. He's suggesting that both purity and impurity resides in all of us. Right? So I'm just to know, why do we make an exception? Why are there exceptions among any of us? And I can definitely respect the fact that somebody is willing to die for what they believe in. But at the same time, don't we all?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm also doing this little thing I have to do. So I'm listening. But I don't know. I think the devil made that choice, and he decided to do his own thing, and that's why, Adam and Eve, God kind of told Adam Eve not to eat the apple. She kind of did, and she said, "Hey, Adam, you want to buy this apple?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so it's like, I don't know, man. See, I don't know. You kind of let me think, so I'm trying to like come up with a coherent answer here. I'm trying to answer you properly. That makes any sense.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've read the Bible. Cover to cover. At the same time, though, I do know that it's been tampered with, right?
Big time.
And just like in a game of telephone, you play telephone, I'm sure, as a kid in school and everything. You whisper in somebody's ear, and then you have, like, say you have 10 kids.
Lost in translation.
Right. So that's kind of what we do in regards to like history, in general, and life in general. So my question is, like, when do we start drawing our own conclusions about life, and again, the results that we want for our own and the people that we love in the community around us? Because if we just keep living based on a predetermined constraints that somebody else told us, it's kind of like to get really vulgar here, and take the telephone analogy to a whole nother level, and seeing that this is Halloween. Are y'all familiar with the human centipede?
Yeah. Well, I've never seen it, but I've heard of the movie.
Right. I've never seen it myself either. I should add that to my list.
Oh my God.
But you get one person, the first person digests the food, properly. But later down the road, that food, loses all of its nutrients. Like, in the beginning, the word was with God, right? And the word was God, but eventually we start diluting all of these truths, and we just have a half-baked, version of our perception of reality at the end of the day, by the time we get to the end.
A lot of it is they're adding extra shit
Right.
to it, to where it's like none of it makes sense, or it's like we're up something.
Right. Just like food.
And most of the time, it's to cover up shit.
Right. Just like our food, extra sugar and additives, medicine, a whole bunch of stuff, so it's like, where do you draw the line? How do you know? That's why, I always try to encourage people to, seek your own truth. Don't just take my word for some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking based on my own perception of reality, which I hope can enable somebody to gain their own better understanding of their own, but it may not have that case, you know. It may not be the case. Let me see what y'all are saying over here on Facebook. We kind of got into it.
Well, man, go ahead. It's cool.
Y'all have y'all's own separate conversations over here on Facebook.
What are they saying over there?
Let me see. Let me see. I don't know. It looks like low key, totally random. I don't. Maybe they took the telephone thing to a different level. Sharon said, "Here I was talking about the exponential difference in weight between a dead deer and the sun in a black hole, all because my homie got a 12 point buck and knew had to carry it back to the truck. Sounds like they're hunting over there in Dakota. I forget which Dakota Sharon is from. Um, uh, Kirsten asks, why was Lucifer actually cast out of heaven? That's a question. That's an interesting question. Yeah, like where do you draw the line, right? Like, okay, okay, Satan, you done fucked up this many times. All right. Like, you know, and who's writing all of this? You know, who's actually documenting all of this? You know?
Who is documenting it? It's like if you look at the Bible, especially like the New Testament, majority of the text is in red, basically quoting what Jesus said. And it's like, okay, you quote what the man said, but what did you say?
Yeah.
Like, what's the other half of the conversation too?
Right.
You know, and most of the time it's like you sitting up here quoting this man, but yeah, this motherfucker didn't write shit.
Right.
I mean, the first
somebody could totally be putting words in somebody else's mouth.
Are based on
Okay, so no, go on and finish.
Somebody could totally be putting words in somebody else's mouth and be like, hey, they said this.
Think about this. The first books of the New Testament were all written by majority of the disciples. Based on what? I mean, you don't know if that's actually what said. It could be paraphrased or, like you said, the whole telephone metaphor. Right. You know, and it's like that makes no sense. You got quotes from Jesus, but yet based on what?
Yeah. Yeah. And we all determine, you know, to what level somebody or something's influence like has in our life, you know, not just in terms of this situation and the person specifically, but even words, you know. I'm sure we've had this discussion before. If not, you know, I mean, y'all know it's like we have annotations for specific words, and words have different, you know, levels of influence and hierarchy, and the way you say something, you know, one person one way, somebody else could hear something totally different.
Yeah. Words are powerful.
Yeah.
Words are powerful for the simple fact that, you know, one word could cut a person.
But the same word.
Words can uplift people. Words can, you know, do a lot of things. It could be good things. It could damage people. It could uplift people, you know, depending on the context, the tone you're using, how you're using it, when you're using it, and who you're using it on. You know, so
And that all goes back to judgment too. Like at the beginning of the conversation, Ram brought up, you know, uh, how do we determine whether or not we're acting on behalf of God? You know, it's like we all use our best discernment, you know, to the best of our capabilities, you know, and we do our best, you know, but at the end of the day, what's the result that we want to have? You know, do we put our own personal self interest above everybody else, or do what's right on behalf of the community, which in return, you know, benefits you inadvertently? So, oh, they have some good stuff in this Facebook chat. I need to delve
Oh
into
yeah,
here.
tell us what they're saying, man.
Uh, if free will was free, we wouldn't be judged in the end, right? Hey, Kirsten, you need
That
to join our session.
Okay, that's deep. That's deep. Okay.
I like that. Being judged comes with free will. People have the right to do what they will. That's what Sharon said in response, looks like. Um, uh, Sharon said she chose culture and heritage. Um, Kirsten says, question I ask daily, if God is final judgment, right? So, yeah, I see where they're coming from with this. So, like, what is free will? You know, if everything is predetermined, basically, that's what it looks like. Kirsten's saying.
Right.
What's up? We got Darshana in the house. Word of mouth in the house. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
We're just having a religious
Happy
bait
Halloween,
on
bro.
Halloween.
So
No big
okay,
deal.
so to go, to go on something a little lighter. 'Cause I know we just jumped to like the philosophical out of nowhere. No, I was gonna say, so I mean, how? Okay, so Halloween, right? Okay. I remember I was seeing some stuff today, and it was like a priest or something, or like a Catholic priest or a nun or something, but like they wear like the outfit, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I mean,
Or
hypothetically,
what
I
it
don't. I'm
looks
not
like.
familiar with the.
So like sometimes Halloween, right? The ladies they'll wear like the nun outfit, but it's kind of more like a bikini or something, right? Or something like that. I don't know, right? Like, I know you guys have ever seen that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently, like a bunch of Christians got mad, right? Because it's like, oh, the priest outfit or the nun outfit, right? Like that's it. That's considered something holy to us, right? So it's like, why are you making a mockery of that by dressing up the nun in like uh, underwear or whatever?
The sexy nun,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but
yeah, the sexy nun.
that's the whole trippy part about Halloween. It's like they monopolize costumes, they sexualize, no, they by a samurai, a gay, that look how skinny.
Oh, your audio is kind of breaking up. Can you hear Crystal? Is it just me?
Well,
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah.
So it's like I before I moved out to Vegas, during this time, but all different costumes. I would go in there just check shit out. half that shit look, then how expensive. I'm like, motherfuckers are stupid as hell to spend that much money on shit you're only gonna wear one time.
Shit, or you got it like that.
Right.
Shit, trying to get like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's money and it's stupid.
All right.
So, and so let me raise something else up on y'all, because I've been seeing, someone once told me, it's like, what's the point of having like a marriage ceremony, right?
Oh, Ram just jumping around here. Ram just want all of us to get blocked and deleted here. Ram's like, what buttons can I press today to get all of us deleted? Oh, Ram got it out for us today.
Nah.
Ceremony. Africans were enslaved. They weren't allowed to live. That's the whole point of the jump. They do that whole jump. But I know
It's hard to hear you. I'm trying to listen to you. I'm like every other word.
Yeah, I'm outside and it's like somewhat a bad area, but what I'm saying is, it's like, during the time when Africans were enslaved, they weren't allowed to really read, write, whatever. So they secretly had the ceremony where they would jump the broom in order to be married.
Right. Right. Because it wasn't recognized.
No, it wasn't recognized at all.
Right.
Yeah, but when they did that,
the power lies in, the hands of, I guess, the governing power. It's like whoever's presiding.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you know what? And this will be like the last question I give. I know I'm giving y'all a bunch of questions today, but it's like,
it's the one that's going. This the big one. It's the one that's going to shut everything down.
Why? No. It's like,
don't be surprised if your internet doesn't work out. No signal.
I forgot that part. Oh shit.
No, look. I ain't trying to get you shut down, man. You still gotta get the views.
All right.
Get to the point.
No.
It's subliminal messages and shit.
Yeah, no, but real it's like, okay, racism, right? Homophobia, stuff like that, right? It's like, but like we all bleed the same color, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and to leave more on like a positive message, man. Like, it's kind of like this community, right? It's like we all come from different backgrounds, upbringings, different families, ancestral lines, whatever, right? But we're all human, and I think like power in that, there's a lot of power, if we like band together instead of letting our I don't know, communities, whatever, divide us, right? Does that make sense? Right? Because I'm like, reader.
Here's the thing, though. Yeah, we all bleed the same blood. We all bleed the same color and all that. But we all share one common thing. We all share the mitochondrial cells. In other words, it's the E gene.
What does that mean?
We all share that. Doesn't matter what color you are, we all share.
What does that mean? What? or the significance of the you said the cell? Yeah, what does that mean? Oh no. Did we lose
I don't
Crystal?
know.
Uh-oh. See, one question too many. God damn it. Oh shit.
My bad, man. I'm just like
Oh,
trying to
man.
get
We lost Crystal.
Damn. Why am I taking that? And then I ain't trying to. I'm just trying.
Well, I was gonna say, Ram, yeah, before we wrap up here and everything, my live mic out here soon because we've been on here for like about an hour now.
Yeah,
and
I get you. I get you.
And I know you're trying to end on a positive note and everything.
I am trying to do that, man.
But if I could play devil's advocate here, which I do with you so well, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Having a moment here. Just a conglomeration of everything that you brought here into play for us today. You tried so hard to be pure. You know? And here I am just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, something else that we're all tied to is the need to do better, regardless of who gives a fuck and why. You feel me? It's like that need for survival is something that also ties all of us together. Oh, it looks like they're gonna cut me off here. I have like 20 seconds. But it's that selfishness, you know, that has enabled us to survive for as long as we have, you know, but also hopefully sustain us for many years to come. I've been getting a couple of collab inquiries. OM, Crystal, Sharon, Kirsten. Man, it's been a great discussion. Great discussion tonight. I don't really know how to end this one. What kind of note to end it on? You know, looks like the live on Facebook is still running and YouTube, you know, but work is calling us all, you know, higher purpose and all of that good stuff, you know. So I appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Be safe. Thanks again to everybody who attended, you know, everybody watching the playback, all that good stuff. This has been a great discussion. Hope to continue again next week. We usually try to stay, you know, at the same time, 3:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. Other than that, we host another session on Fridays as well, just within our private Ascendance community on Facebook. If you haven't joined already, you can go to go.onewhomayascend.com. Other than that, once again, stay safe. Do what you do, whatever you do you. After all, it's what you do best. I'm OMA, one who may ascend, over and out. Peace, y'all. Stay up. Going all the way up. Eyes to the sky.